Well, as many of you know, this fire season has been one of the worst in U.S. history. Millions of acres have already burned across the West, and there are more than 50 large fires actively burning right this minute.
Yeah, and the reality is that most of those could have been prevented because most of them were started by people. Tonight, as part of our Scorched Earth series, we're taking a look at the numbers that show the western U.S. is fighting a completely different battle, the epidemic of human-caused wildfires.
I don't think people understand that when those flames occur, one spark can cause a larger fire.
You have so many reasons to protect your forest.
It's been the message for years.
Only you can prevent wildfires. Fire!
But the problem of human-caused wildfires remains.
We see smoke or fire investigations, illegal burns, pretty frequently because folks, they're actually getting rid of some wood debris, their yard waste.
How often do you go out on a call like that and have to educate someone?
We're probably responding to 2 or 3 of those a week.
Debris burns are actually one of the biggest causes of wildfires across Washington. There have been more than 250 already this season alone. And in Idaho, it's estimated 1 out of every 5 wildfires in the state is started with the debris burn. But it's certainly not the only cause.
So here in Washington, you can actually see the 3 biggest categories are by far debris burns, that's number 1, then miscellaneous and undetermined. But if you look at some of the other reasons, 69 fires, for example, caused by recreation. That's typically a campfire that gets out of control. It's confirmed that at least 8 fires were caused by smokers. But I want you to keep in mind that a lot of times the person responsible for that is long gone by the time firefighters get there. And that's why that undetermined number there at the end is as high as it is. But when you add all of that up, it ends up being 737 human-caused fires in the state so far this season. And that is just the beginning, because as you start to take a look at the numbers all across the West, Idaho, for example, 507 human-caused fires. Arizona, 848. Then you look at Montana, over 1,000. More than 6,000 human-caused fires in California. When you add all of this up, it ends up being more than 11,000 human-caused fires just this year alone. And as more people have started to turn outside because of this ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the problem is only getting worse.
This year, we've surpassed last year's human-caused ignitions. We are up by 55% from this time last year.
What does that tell you?
That tells me that we need to do a better job with prevention. We need to get the message out early rather than late about our conditions.
And those conditions are only fueling the problem. As severe drought persists all across the West, even small fires are spreading out of control faster than ever. It's why fire investigators are not afraid to issue citations or even file criminal charges against someone who starts a fire. It was the case in Oregon in 2017 when the Eagle Creek fire spread through the gorge after a 15-year-old lit a firework and tossed it into the canyon. It started a fire that would eventually consume an area larger than all of Washington, D.C. And in California, a Los Angeles couple is now facing manslaughter and reckless burning charges after their gender reveal smoke bomb started the El Dorado fire. It exploded in the tall grass, burning thousands of acres and even killing one firefighter.
Yeah, we all have consequences for our actions, and whether it's intentional or not, I think it's important that people just understand that there's a consequence to your action and that action could be jail time.
And someone who starts a wildfire can also be held responsible financially for the thousands and even millions of dollars it costs to stop a wildfire.
Do you think people would be surprised at how quickly that cost can add up?
Oh, easily, especially if you're bringing aircraft into the situation, a drop of retardant, especially if it came out of a large tanker, those are very expensive, which is, hopefully a good incentive to make sure you're watching what you do.
And also, it's also a really good reminder to understand that these are not intentionally caused wildfires. This isn't arson. This is literally because people are being careless when it comes to fire out on the landscape.
I just don't understand it. That is such a high number of things that are so preventable, and we know it's been so dry. Yeah. Oh boy.
And it's, we're still in fire season. It's still really dry out there, so the danger still exists, even though we're technically almost in fall. It's serious.
No one's allowed a match. No one's allowed a lighter.
No.
And no one's allowed to park a hot car on a grassy field.
It's always just a good general rule.
Just a general rule. And no more burn ban. No more burning of burn piles.
Yes.
No.
Not now.
Not doing it.